Hegus Rempel, if I could come back to you. I have two questions. I'm going to put them together in one and then just let you answer since I only have 2.5 minutes. The first is, after the court case in 2018, looking back, would you make the same decision to move towards the land code or not? And the second question is, what do you think would be helpful from the federal government so that your nation has better outcomes for exercising policing authority over your own people with your own laws in your own territory?
Thank you for that. I would 100% still look to the land code. As difficult as it is to have these laws and things enforced and recognized, I do believe it's better than the Indian Act. I think, the Indian Act is a very oppressive thing and very limiting to First Nations. And so, I do have faith in the system, and I have faith that we can work together to address these issues. It just takes an initiative from the federal and provincial governments to actually not just listen to First Nations, but to hear us, hear what the issues are, and work together to address them. Yeah.
And then the second part of that was just what would be helpful from the federal government to actually make those outcomes concrete?
Well, I think better funding, specifically for the First Nations lands management. I think better funding for the issues around enforcement in a treaty perspective, looking to tighten up the treaty language and ensure that there is the opportunity for adjudication and enforcement and recognition of our laws as enactments within the provincial system, I think are critical so that we can actually be self-governing, because if you don't have the enforcement of your laws, then you're not actually a self-governing nation.
And the last question is, you talked about the last inspector was not very helpful. This one is. And I just want to ask you, how does it feel to sort of know that there isn't a system in place to make sure enforcement is supported? It's based on a personality.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult. I mean, when we talk about systemic racism, that is most certainly what we were facing prior to this inspector coming in. And now I would say we have a wonderful relationship. We have a liaison officer that works very closely with Comox First Nation and is very communicative with myself and the band administrator. And that's been really important. There's a willingness to have cultural sensitivity discussions within the detachment with the officers in a post-COVID environment. And I think that's really important as well.